Let me try that. It may have just been picking up from my computer mic instead of the other. So, what's
Rich,
up, Adam?
nothing. We really can't hear you on YouTube. I don't know what's going on. I was trying to stay backstage, but
I don't know. Is it better now?
I don't know. I was just trying to stay backstage so I could see if I could hear you through here, but I can hear you through here.
Oh yeah. No,
But
I did make,
I can't hear
huh?
you on YouTube. That's what's weird. It
Well,
looks
I
like you
got a
got
couple
61.
people that got what?
I was gonna say you got. Hey guys, just real quick, all the viewers right now, can you guys leave a comment and let me know if you guys can hear Rich?
Yeah, Marcus just said he can hear both of us. So, um, yeah.
All
So
right,
I
I'm gonna
appreciate
get
that.
out of
I don't know
here.
what the deal was with that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I meant to stay backstage, but I forgot on my phone. It just put you right on the screen.
No, you're good.
So
You're
hey
good, man.
everybody, it's a crappy day. Yes, I'm still at work, obviously, but yeah, it's a very very crappy day. Yeah. All right,
Well,
Rich,
it'll
I'm
get
getting
better.
out of here. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate
All
it,
right,
man.
all right, buddy.
Um,
All right,
all right, buddy.
all right,
Yeah,
later.
that. All right. Yeah, that's my co-host from Steel City Sports Talk. Um, popped. I'm not sure what the deal was. It was probably just picking up the mic from my computer, and that was it. But anyway, going back to what I had talked about initially, unfortunate news this afternoon came down a little over an hour ago that two-time NASCAR champion Kyle Busch has passed away at the age of 41. Um, there is no cause of death being mentioned. As I was talking about a little bit ago, I will not and never have speculate. If I get something confirmed through my sources, then I'll go with it because my sources are very reliable, particularly in the NASCAR field. Um, but you're going to hear a lot of speculation out there, just like with anything else. Take it with a grain of salt and move on. I promise you, I will keep you up to date as far as what comes down, um, involving Kyle. But he had this past Sunday. If you had a chance to catch the All Star race, about two-thirds of the through the race, maybe three-quarters of the way through the race, he had made a statement to his team to please have a doctor meet him at the hauler, um, which nobody really thought too much of simply because it happens a lot of times. Maybe guys get dehydrated, guys don't feel good. They get a stomach issue or something like that. Nobody really thought anything different of him doing that. Wednesday was put in the hospital, and they had announced Wednesday that he wasn't going to race this weekend, and that Austin Hill was going to take his spot, who drives for Richard Childress in the O'Reilly. Sorry, I still try calling it Xfinity series. In the O'Reilly series, was going to drive Kyle's car, and there we go. Then this afternoon, a little bit before 5 o'clock Central Time, it came down, and it's it's something that's sudden. It's a bad, um, of course, a bad thing. Once again, the family, Bush family, Richard Childress Racing, and NASCAR submitted this statement that our entire NASCAR family is heartbroken by the loss of Kyle Busch, a future Hall of Famer. Kyle was a rare talent, one who comes along once in a generation. He was fierce, passionate. He was immensely skilled, cared deeply about the sport and fans. Throughout a career that spanned more than 2 decades, Kyle set records in National Series wins, won championships at NASCAR's highest level, and fostered the next generation of drivers as an owner in the Truck Series. His sharp wit and competitive spirit sparked a deep emotional connection with race fans of every age, creating the proud and loyal Rowdy Nation. Our thoughts are with Samantha, Braxton, and Lennox, his children, Kyle and Samantha's parents, Kurt, his brother, and all of Kyle's family, Richard and Judy Childress, who own Kyle's car in the Cup Series, everyone at Richard Childress Racing, his teammates, friends, and fans. NASCAR lost a giant of the sport today, far too soon. And then, of course, they request everyone to respect the family's privacy. um, you know, he drove for three different owners. Uh, drove for drove for Mark. Drove for Rick Hendrick to start with. Drove for Joe Gibbs starting in '08, and then in 2023 moved to Richard Childress, where he has struggled mightily since he got to Richard Childress Racing. Haas, not the news I wanted to be breaking in with on a Thursday afternoon. Um, Thoughts?
Before I give my thoughts, let me just say it's nice to see you again. It's been a while. I know you were dealing with some issues yourself, and good to see you again. It's been a while since we've seen you on open
Appreciate
mic or fans of the Diamond. Hopefully, we see you soon, and especially for
it.
Cajun Turnbuckle. No, I wanted to come on just if you didn't see my post I made, I had to make a confession because if you know, yeah, when I got the news about this, I was shocked like everybody. But I have to make a confession, just so nobody gets mixed up or tongue twisted here. I was not a fan of him, but I would not have want this to happen to him. Like as much as I don't like any like professional athlete, and I may have said mean things about him, and I've said mean things about him on the show, but I would have not want this to happen to him at all. I wouldn't want this to happen to anybody. And when I got to heard the news about it, I felt guilt, like I should take back any mean thing I've ever said about him, like I've said about other drivers that I've disliked. So I just wanted to come and say like it. I'm sorry for what happened to him. I wouldn't want that for him. I didn't even know he was sick, and I'm gonna be the better person instead of, they got low lives who don't like somebody, and when they pass, they want to celebrate it. I'm not gonna be that guy. No, I'm gonna send my thoughts and prayers and condolences to his family, his wife, his kids, his team, the NASCAR fans, his fans, the NASCAR fans, NASCAR itself, and to anybody else who had any connections with him or were had some relations with him. Like that's what I wanted to come on for, just to kind of.
And I get you. I get you, Haas. I do. I mean, he was my mom's favorite since Juan Pablo Montoya went back to IndyCar. He was my mom's favorite. I didn't like him on the track. When he was much younger, I didn't like him, period. Um, but as he got older, and matured a little bit, still didn't like him on the track. I always wished he'd run out of gas. But I looked at it that way. I looked at it, if you run out of gas, nothing's going to happen to you, nothing's going to hurt you, but you're going to lose the race. Um, so that's how I looked at it. It's kind of like I wish the receiver would drop the ball on the field. Um, so you never, and I wasn't an Earnhardt guy either. I was a Jeff Gordon guy. So when it
Oh,
came to that, I was the same way
I
with
was,
Earnhardt.
I was Earnhardt,
But this
but
is
yeah, I was Earnhardt too. But it feels like 2001 all over again. Because remember how tragic it was when Daddy passed away at Daytona. I feel the same vibe with this one, even though I wasn't a fan of this guy.
I wasn't a fan of either one. When Earnhardt, my dad was a big Earnhardt. I was a Jeff Gordon guy. I'm still a Jeff Gordon guy. My dad was a huge Earnhardt fan. And when I saw the wreck, if for people that don't remember the part that Haas is talking about, and Dylan, we'll hop you in here in just a second. It was what 30 laps before that. Tony Stewart went head over tea kettle down the front straightaway in his Home Depot Chevrolet, and I mean he walked away from that. Earnhardt gets in the wreck that he was in, which, if you've ever seen it, was minor in comparison to Tony Stewart's, and he ends up hitting at just the right angle and it snapped his neck. Now, that to say, and anyone that's listened to Two Tire Change has heard me talk about this a lot. There has been one really good thing to come out of Dale Earnhardt's death.
The Hans stuff.
All the safety stuff, the Hans device, the safer barriers, the roof flaps, all that stuff, all the increases in safety at these tracks and in those cars, all 1000% because of the death of Dale Earnhardt. So, like him or not, that's one. This Kyle Busch thing, there's going to be a lot of speculation out there. I want none of it. There's going to be people talking about, well, it was this, it was
Here's
that,
my
it was the
question.
other thing. Don't want to hear it. Yeah.
Here's my question. Where they're racing this weekend, because I haven't watched a race since Talladega, and I know this is going to be, they're going to talk about this nonstop, and I kind of want to see what they say, how they're going to tribute to them. Are they going to do a silent lap? Like, are they going to retire 18? I want to see all this. I haven't watched NASCAR since Talladega, but I will tune in this weekend. Aren't they like in Charlotte?
Coke
They're
600.
in Charlotte. It's the Coca-Cola 600. It's the longest race of the NASCAR season. And will they do some? And the craziest part of it is this is the first race of the season on Prime. It's not on Fox. Wow. It's not on NBC. It's not on USA. It's the first of 5 races
or FS1
that will be on Amazon Prime Video. Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people aren't going to get to see this race unless they subscribe to Amazon Prime. Are they going to do something? No question. Could they conceivably do a silent lap on lap 8? Possible, yeah. I mean,
or 18?
there's a lot. Well, he was well known in the 18 car, but his most recent car was the 8. So I don't know how that would, it could be either one. I'm sure all the drivers will have some sort of a black armband or some sort of a recognition of Kyle on their uniform.
They could probably put a sticker on the back of their helmets.
Yeah, they'll probably have stickers on their cars and their helmets,
or a patch on their suits, or
yeah. I mean, there will be a lot on there. I have no doubt they'll do that. In fact, I have no doubt they're going to do that with all 3 races this weekend, because we have a Truck Series race, we have an O'Reilly Series race, and a Cup Series. Kyle's the all-time winningest driver in the Truck Series. He's the all-time leader in wins in the O'Reilly Series. So, and he was 9th in Cup Series. So they very well will do something for Kyle in all 3 before all 3 races. But yeah, Dylan, thoughts?
I'm speechless, guys. I mean, it's I don't know what to say. I mean, we've lost Charlie Kirk, Greg Biffle, and Kyle Busch within the last 8 months. I'm like, what's next? But I think you would agree with me. Kyle Busch is one of the greatest race car NASCAR drivers ever. A guy with 230, I think it's 236 combined truck, O'Reilly, and Cup Series wins. Nobody's going to come close to that. He's probably the most versatile driver NASCAR's ever seen. And frankly, I think Kyle's changed. We remember Kyle when he was driving the Truck Series at 16 years old. Then NASCAR put in a rule and says, Kyle, you're too young to drive. And then there were incidents when Kyle showed his age and immaturity. I remember one time after he was penalized at Texas, Kyle gave not 1 but 2 fingers, and then NASCAR gave him 2 laps gave him black.
I was there. I was at those were races I was reporting at Texas Motor Speedway. I covered those races, and I saw that side of Kyle firsthand.
And
Um,
and you probably remember the Texas 2011 race where he wrecked Ron Hornaday and NASCAR parked him the rest of the weekend.
I'm just pulling
yeah,
in my house. I'm a log off, and then I'll pop back in when I get in my house.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. No problem, Marcus. Um, but yeah, I remember that. You know, he he definitely grew up. When he got married, when he had the kids, when Brexton started driving, even when he was driving go-karts and that kind of thing. Yeah, tomorrow's truck race is at 6:30. I'm sorry, 7:30 Eastern on FS1. The O'Reilly Series race on Saturday is at 5 Eastern on CW. And then, like I mentioned, the Sunday race, the Coca-Cola 600 is at 6 Eastern on Prime. Um, will not be the least bit surprised if a large chunk of the pre-race shows are dedicated to Kyle. Um, and was he the most popular driver amongst drivers? No. Was he the most popular driver amongst fans? No. In fact, for the longest time, until here recently, Kyle Busch was the most hated driver in NASCAR. I think it's very safe to say that.
Yeah,
Until Denny Hamlin took that over a couple years ago. Denny Hamlin is the ultimate bad guy right now in NASCAR. I think that's very safe to say.
yeah,
But Kyle had turned things around. He was my mom's driver. That was for whatever reason. I have no idea why, but when he started driving for Joe Gibbs and Juan Pablo Montoya had left to go back to Indy racing, she picked up Kyle Busch. I was like, okay, whatever. My dad was a Tony Stewart fan at that time. I'm still a Jeff Gordon guy. She picks up this young kid at that time, young kid driving the 18. Um, it, did he make a did you made a statement that's probably extremely true that he was probably the most versatile, successful driver in NASCAR. Um, the next closest guy would probably be either a Mark Martin, who drove very successfully in two series because you didn't have the truck series when Mark Martin was running, and maybe even a Ron Hornaday. Um, those guys were but not to the degree of what Kyle did. The only other driver with over 200 National Series wins is Richard Petty. Even as successful as Jeff Gordon was, as Dale Earnhardt, as David Pearson, and all these other guys, still the only one over 200 was Richard Petty. So John, Kyle Busch passed away this afternoon. Again, this is a little breaking news. Dive in. I'm Big Rich. That's Dylan to the right of me on your screen. Um, Kyle Busch, two-time NASCAR champion, has passed away this afternoon at the age of 41. Um, was admitted to a hospital Wednesday, and they had announced that he would not race this Sunday in the Coca-Cola 600, that Austin Hill would take his spot, who drives the O'Reilly Series car for Richard Childress, who owns Kyle Busch's car. And then about an hour and a half ago now, it was announced that Kyle Busch had passed away.
I was just wondering, do you think there's a chance that OCL might pull the 8 call this weekend? I mean, we know what happened after Big E died, but is there a chance that team doesn't race this weekend?
Man, I think that's a valid question. I don't see. There's two different ways of thinking about this. One, it could hit that team so hard that they won't be focused on what they're doing, and it could get somebody hurt. The other part of it is that they're going to want to go out there and win the race for Kyle. And that the whether it's the pit crew, the spotters, the crew chief, the designers, whatever. It's just a matter of which way they want to go with it. This is Richard Childress racing. Who owned Dale Earnhardt's car? Richard Childress. Um, you know, they got rid of the 3 for the long. Now, do I think they're going to retire the 8? No, I don't see. They didn't retire the 3. They're not going to retire the 8. They just got rid of. Richard Childress put the 3 to the side until his grandson started racing. Then he brought it back to a bunch of backlash, by the way. When Austin Dillon first rolled that 3 out there was a lot of backlash. But at the same time, it's a really good question, Dylan. I don't. What do you guys think? There's there's 100 plus of y'all that are checking us out. What do you guys think? Should the 8 car run this week? Should the 8 car lead the first lap?
I mean, somehow NASCAR. Well, somehow not the 3 call, but that Earnhardt's old team raced the next weekend after his death at Rockingham.
With Kevin Harvick, yeah.
Yeah, and then a couple weeks later, we know what Harvick did beating.
It was kind of funny that he did it with Gordon.
Yeah,
that it was Harvick and Gordon at the finish line. The thought process on that, though, I mean, could I see the pace car becoming the 8 car if they're not going to race? Yeah. Mark, Haas, we were just talking about, Dylan brought up, does the 8 team even run Sunday? And I told him there's 2 things of thought. You either don't run because the guys are so impacted and all that they're not going to be focused enough to do it right and to not hurt themselves. Or 2, they go out there and they want to win that freaking race for Kyle. If they don't run, do you make the 8 car the pace car and have the 8 out in front at the start of the race? I don't know. What do you think? I think Dylan brought up a really good point there.
You either make it the pace car, or I don't know. I'm pretty sure they've retired numbers before, or you think it'd be too soon to retire it.
There's never been a number retired.
Not
if they
yet.
didn't
Well,
retire
not
if
even
they
Dale.
didn't retire the 3, nope. Austin Dillon runs the 3.
Well, go ahead and make it the pace car then.
Yeah, because Childress put the 3 away until his grandson started racing, and then he brought the 3 out for Austin Dillon to run. They didn't retire the 43 either for Richard Petty.
I think the first year after Petty retired, that team didn't run the 43. Then in '94, the 43 was back.
You know why they did that? Because Richard Petty said he wanted that car out there. And I'm sorry, if Richard Petty says he wants something done like that, you listen to the man. That would be just like if Earnhardt would have said something, or Jeff Gordon, or David Pearson, or somebody like that. You're going to listen to them. I'm with you, but do you think they run, Haas? Do you think the 8 team runs on Sunday, or do you think they just pack it in and not run?
I just say don't let it run. I mean, if no one else can drive it, I'd say just let it remain out the rest of the season.
Oh, the rest of the season? Don't do like they did with the 3 and change it to the 29?
Times were different when we lost Dale, but in a time like this,
True.
if you want to try something different, I'd say let it not retire, but just put it on the shelf until you could find someone to carry that legacy or carry his number or the team. Because I don't know how they've done that over the years. I don't know how they work with changing numbers, because I remember 20 years ago, it was Jeff Gordon driving 24. This year we got William Byron driving 24. I don't know how they get with changing numbers. I wonder how they did that with Dale's number as well.
It's usually retirement. The number goes with the owner of the car. And when Dale died, Dale Earnhardt, when Earnhardt died, Childress didn't put the 3 out there. He didn't retire it, but he didn't put it out there. The first thing that happened, what before Childress did that, was that he went to Dale Jr. and said, "Do you want the 3?" He was going to give him the 3 car, the number 3, and Jr. said he didn't want it. He didn't want to even come close to that number. So he was like, "Okay, put it off to the side." The only reason why it even came out was because Austin Dillon, who's his grandson, started in the Cup Series about 10 years ago. Jeff Gordon retired. When he retired, William Byron took over the 24. So, Rick Hendrick owns the 5, the 24, the 48, and the the 5, the 24, the 48, and the 9.
He'd have so I guess it's up to Mike Verlander then to decide who would take over that number, since it is under Richard Childress Racing.
Right, Richard Childress would be the one that makes the decision. Yeah. He could very easily apply for another number, like he did with Kevin Harvick, because when Dale died, the 3 went away. He put a 29 on that car. And if you remember right, that car that Kevin Harvick drove looked exactly like Dale Earnhardt's car, except that it was white and had a 29. All the sponsorships and all that were the same. It was still Goodwrench. All that good stuff was still on there. It's just that it was a white car with a 29 instead of a black car with a white 3. So that's what Childress did. In that case, could Childress do this again? Because he does still own the number 29. It's not in use, but he does still own that number. That's a real good question, though, Haas. It really is.
So when it comes,
there's going to be a lot.
Well, here's my thing. When it comes to Dale's signature car is always going to be the Goodwrench 3 black Chevy. I think it was what was it?
Monte Carlo.
A Monte Carlo. What would you consider Kyle Busch's signature car would be? Would you want to go classic and say the 18 M&M car, or you want to say the 8 car with 3? What is it? That brand?
Cheddars.
Cheddars, yeah. And then he also had a Lenovo.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with now. There's so many different sponsors out there because Kyle, there's a blue Lucas car that he drives. He's got that Cheddar's car that he drives. He has 2 or 3 other ones. They rotate sponsors like they change shirts.
Yeah, he used to have Monster back in the day too.
When Kyle ran the M&M's car, the only change they ever made was from the M&M's car to Interstate Batteries.
Maybe Snickers.
And
Snickers or
and then it came into being Snickers. But see, the thing is, that's the same company too. It's still M&M Mars. The big thing, and here's where the other part comes in, because the car that he's most known for driving is that 18 M&M's car, but it's owned by Joe Gibbs. The 18 is an inactive number right now. Nobody's driving the 18, but Joe Gibbs owns that 18 number. Now, could he do some sort of a tribute type thing? That's a conceivability. You're right. But nowadays, every driver it's the same thing with the 24, Marcus. Jeff Gordon, for the longest time, it was DuPont. Every now and then he ran Pepsi. Now that 24's got Exalta and Liberty University and all these other things on it. Valvoline, which is really weird because Quaker State was in that car for God knows how many years. I'm real curious to see exactly how that's going to play out. We're going to find out a lot over the next couple of days. I really think we're going to find out a ton over the next few days as far as what's.
I'm going to tune in Sunday for the Coca-Cola 400. Like I just want to see, like, you know, even the whatever they call their like little countdown show before the race, like
Mhm.
the panel.
point.
They're gonna. I know
Yeah.
that's gonna be the main topic. I just want to see how it all looks.
No, you're right. You know, and it's a 600-mile race, so they'll have plenty of time to be talking about it, which could be a good or a bad.
I'm sure Prime's Cup is going to be a lot different now than it was 6 hours ago, because instead of talking about all the military members, Admiral Alexander Dale Jr. and Steve Latour are probably going to have Kyle Busch memories.
Well, they'll have those too. It's going to be the production, excuse me, the production team and the on-air staff for Prime is now in full fast mode because they've got to completely change things. They've got to create the vignettes for Kyle. They're gonna be pulling up any and all information they can find about Kyle's career because they got 600 miles to talk about it. The other part of it too, it's 600 miles to talk about stuff. And when something like this happens, you have a death in the family, which I mean, NASCAR is a family. When you have something like this happen, I wouldn't want to be rehashing it every time you turn around. I really wouldn't. Um, and that's 600 miles. That race is going to go for 5 hours. The pre-race is an hour and a half long. It's
I
going to
feel
be
like
hard on the on-air people.
I feel like this might be the wrong time to bring this up. I mean, I don't see nothing yet, but if for those who were planning on, I don't know, let's say placing bets on like FanDuel or something, you think the odds are going to change and maybe somebody from Childress could be a favorite winning this race in honor and memory of him, like maybe like Austin Dillon or something?
Well, and see, Austin Dillon just won it recently. So yeah, he just won it 2 years ago. Yeah. Tyler Reddick won it last year. Austin Dillon won it 2 years ago. So it's one of those tough deals that could that happen? Sure. And then of
I'm
course there's that thought that if the 8 car does run,
right
what
now.
what kind of justice would there be for that 8 in the winner's circle?
Well, right, what I'm looking at right now on the odds, they got like Denny Hamlin on top with Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Christopher Bell, and Chase Briscoe.
Well, I mean, Austin Hill's a good driver. Don't get me wrong. He's not Cup Series good. I don't think he's 600 miles Cup Series good. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be this is gonna be a weird weekend when it comes to NASCAR, man. I mean, there's been a few times. I remember. I think both of you guys are probably too young to remember when Davey Allison died in 1993 with the helicopter crash.
I was probably 4 by then. So yeah, I have no memory of that.
Yeah, Dylan, you were probably a glimmer in your mom and dad's eye back in
I think
'93.
I might have been 1 when Davey Allison died in
Yeah,
90, and Alan Kowicki died that year.
Yeah, I was 22. And I remember that was a big Davey Allison guy. And Davey was just getting to that point that he was going to be the major guy.
Yeah.
And he was really turning, and his dad, of course, Bobby Allison, his uncle Donnie Allison were legendary NASCAR drivers in that.
And
And when Davey passed away, though, it really, I mean, they had a lot of hard times with a lot of guys dealing with it. When Adam Petty died in qualifying the
oh my God,
one year in is it
2000
New Hampshire or Rhode Island? I don't remember which.
New Hampshire.
That was another one because Kyle Petty was an active driver. His dad was an active driver at the time. And of course, the grandson of the king. So, I mean, NASCAR has unfortunately had to deal with some major tragedies. You mentioned Alan Kowicki, and even the loss of guys like, you know, major parts like Bill France, the guy that basically put NASCAR on the map. Things like that. This is going to be tough. As much of a Kyle Busch fan as I wasn't, there's no denying the fact that he's probably a top 50 driver of all time, maybe a top 30 driver of all time.
I think Kyle's the top 5 driver of all time. No questions asked.
No. Top 5 Cup driver of all time? No.
100%. 100%.
Not even close.
100% Kyle's the top 5 NASCAR driver of all time.
Not even close.
I'll tell you who my top 5 would be. And I guarantee your list and my list are going to be
probably a lot different the way you're coming across, but okay, go ahead.
I'm going to hear your list. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to hear Marcus's list first.
Of what?
Oh,
top
the greatest
5
drivers.
Drivers of all time.
Oh man,
well, you got to remember, Marcus hasn't followed the sport very much the last bunch of years.
I mean, I started watching around 2000, early 2000s, like not long before Dale passed away, but I wasn't a religious watcher. Like I at least watched like certain races every single year. I never really watch a whole season. Like
okay.
That's one of the fans I am. Like I'm the guy who would watch Daytona, Talladega, Bristol, Atlanta, Vegas, Indy. Like I'd watch like 7 or 8 different races every single year, but I don't watch a whole season. And it's mainly around the spring.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, your top 5 has to include Richard Petty.
Oh, absolutely.
Your top 5 has to include Dale Earnhardt. Your top 5 has to include Jeff Gordon. No, well, obviously, with what Dylan's looking at.
Well,
your top 5 has to include Jeff Gordon.
I'm not a Jeff
Gordon. I know you're not a Gordon fan.
Look, it's sad enough. I share a birthday with Jeff Gordon.
I understand.
Hey, by the way,
he is exactly 1 day younger than me. My birthday's August 3rd, 71. His birthday's August 4th, 71.
Can I do like a top 5 for Hall of Fame for legends, a top 5 for modern era, and even maybe one for honorable mention?
Sure.
Or do I have to pick 2 from each category?
I don't care. Go ahead.
Well, I'll let Dylan say what he has to say, then I'll do mine.
Yeah.
By the way, in my top 5 list, in no particular order, Richard Petty's on the list, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s on the list, Jeff Gordon's on the list, Jimmy's on the list, and Kyle Busch is on the list.
Who was your 4th one?
Jimmy.
All right. So
Jimmy Johnson. Okay, yeah.
If we're talking legends, I'm gonna put Richard Petty, of course, and Dale Sr. No hands down. If I had to put an honorable mention, I'd say Bobby Allison. But in the modern era, I'm gonna say Dale Jr. and I'm stuck with either Jimmy Johnson or even Tony Stewart. Honorable mention, I'll throw in Sterling Marlin.
Okay, help me understand. As much as I like Junior, how do you have Junior that high on a list?
No, I
he
didn't
never won a championship. No, but this would have him in like the top 10 of all time drivers. The man never won a title.
You're talking about Dale Jr.
Yeah, Dale Jr. Oh no, Dale Sr. is definitely. I mean, somewhere in that top 3 or 4. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought
But
he won. I thought he won like back to back, or was that for date? I mean, he won back to back in something, didn't he?
Junior won back-to-back Busch Series titles, 98 and 99.
What did he
right,
win in? What did
right.
he win in 2001 and 2002? Then,
He won the Daytona 500 twice.
so that's probably what that was. The year his
Yeah.
daddy died, and then the following year again in 2002.
Well, no, he didn't win it when his daddy died.
Mikey
Oh,
did.
Michael Waltrip won it.
Hmm.
Dale Jr. came in second.
And then
Okay.
Because the whole premise behind the wreck, and that's one thing a lot of people don't realize either. The whole premise behind the wreck, if you look at the last few laps, it was Michael first, Junior second, Senior third. Senior was blocking everybody to give those two guys the chance to win. He didn't care which one won because Waltrip was running his car. The 15 was owned by Earnhardt. And then, of course, his son is running the 8. He don't care which one of them wins. He won his. He wanted to see one of them win. And he had the opportunity to play block, which is what he was doing.
And the strange thing about it is, I mean, we all remember Dale Earnhardt as a racer. Dale Earnhardt never blocked. He would race you no matter if it's first or 31st, the same way. He would not let you pass him.
He had said in more than one interview that he would race his grandmother if he had to do it.
Oh, races, oh wow. Yeah. And, you know, I actually remember Richard Childress saying this after the race. He's saying, and this was after Tony flipped down the backstretch. And this is what Dale said: if they don't do something to these calls, somebody's going to be killed. Who knew how poetic those words would be that afternoon?
Well, and the year before, and you're right, Junior won. I think Junior won the summer race twice too. He ran Daytona. He ran Daytona 50 times better than his dad did.
Well, Junior won 4 straight Talladega races, 2001 to 2003.
Yeah, I mean, then Senior was great at Talladega. He just couldn't get it done at Daytona for the longest time,
particularly in the 500.
Yeah, but he didn't. I think he only won one Firecracker 400. But you know, when it came to Talladega, Earnhardt still holds the record for most wins at Talladega. So it's just weird how that works out that way. But yeah, I mean, when we look at what, you know, and of course we're talking about Kyle Busch, who passed away today at the age of 41, after being admitted to the hospital yesterday and having it announced that he was going to miss the race this weekend anyway because of the illness, and Austin Hill was taking the spot. Again, my name is Big Rich. This is Dylan. To the right of me, down below us, is our guy Haas. This is a special edition Two Tire Change with this breaking news. And man, I can't believe we've done almost an hour with this, but and I definitely appreciate everybody that's been going on this thing. But I don't know about you guys, but I think we need to go ahead and shut her down.
Yeah, I got a show to prep for, and then I'm gonna pay homage at the beginning, and I'm gonna say what I gotta say. That'll probably take like 1 or 2 minutes at the beginning of the show. Then I'm gonna continue on with how I usually roll my show after that.
I will tell everybody where they can get you, Haas.
I'm on X at Dirty South ENT _. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that my show would Drive to the Top's on the go. Which I announced during the summer, I'm gonna move to Thursday nights until football season returns, and then I'm gonna go back to my usual Wednesday nights.
Gotcha. Dylan, how do folks get a hold of you, man?
Spunky Spectrum Sports, Big D Podcast, Dylan's History of Sports. I've got, I think, at least 3 shows next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or sometime. I don't know what I'm doing. doing. Probably catch me in some kind of a DK draft somewhere, sometime, somewhere. Might be 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. And my thoughts and prayers with everybody with RCO, Samantha, Brexton, Lennox. By the way, I was so looking forward to seeing Kyle and Brexton drive a truck in 5 years.
This is a distinct possibility, and it's very possible that could be right.
We'll have a moment
That
of silence.
that's a very distinct possibility. Yeah, because don't forget the Indy 500 is at noon on Sunday. So, but I appreciate you guys hopping in. I really do. And again, this has been a special edition, breaking news edition, unfortunate breaking news edition of Two Tire Change with your guy Big Rich. You can get me on Twitter, Big Rich 8371, Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. Indy 500 Sunday at noon, Coca-Cola 600 Sunday at 6. Kyle Busch, two-time Cup champion, dead at the age of 41. Stay tuned to the network where you've gotten all this. I will keep you up to date with any confirmed information. Again, I will not speculate on anything. So if you want speculation, go someplace else. But we will bring you the facts the best we can here on the network. Until we see you guys again on one of our other shows here on Driving to the Top, for Marcus, for Dylan, I'm Big Rich. So long, everybody.